I've had the enormous pleasure to interview this man a few times, and what I can tell you about this unusual professional is that he's ready for almost any challenge. He speaks ad lib, but he is very, very well. He knows, he's rehearsed. So there's almost nothing you could throw at him that he wouldn't be able to answer. Now, Ed Lamont.
Hiya.
Hi. What do you do?
What do I do? Now this is on tape. You may want to start again.
Right.
Exactly. What do I do? The question is, what do I do? What I do is I work with property casualty insurance agents, and my mission is to help them get measurable increases in sales.
I know you do more than that.
Well, I do, but you know, I think it's important to know what your number one mission is.
Okay.
The fact is, there are different types of problems that they encounter that keep them from getting measurable increases in sales. So I work with them with street credibility, because I've been an insurance agent for almost 30 years, and I know what works, I know what doesn't work. So I don't bring in ethereal ideas that I think may work. I actually give them ideas that, hey, I bumped my nose trying to do that, or I've handled that objection with success with this formula.
Beautiful. What type of referrals are you looking for?
Referrals I'm looking for kind of on several different levels. The best referral for me is a property casualty insurance agency that has 10 or more salespeople. What I can then do is bring them a combination of on-site training, off-site training, and one-on-one training with their individual producers, working on the different issues that these producers may have.
Mm-hmm. As a keynote speaker and an insurance sales trainer, which is the shoe is a little different.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of referrals are you looking for in that arena?
That's really a great question, I'll tell you why. Oftentimes I work with insurance associations. They bring me in to deliver training that earns something called continued education for their salespeople that are there, or for their insurance professionals. Those insurance education, continued education breakouts that I do will lead to a keynote that I deliver called, Are You a Professional Insurance Salesperson? Where I really talk about what it means to be a professional, and also talk about what it means to be a super producer. So those things really do run hand in hand. So if you know people at state associations of insurance professionals, especially independent associations, if you know people that are at smaller associations that maybe specialize in medical insurance, or maybe they specialize in contract surety bonds, those are excellent potential referrals for me.
Mm-hmm. Who's paid you?
Who's paid me? Let me give you an example. I work with an insurance association out in Kentucky. I did some work for them earlier this year at their Young Insurance Professionals event, where they brought me in for an entire day to lead an entire day of training on different personal marketing plans that they can adopt. It's especially relevant now in the age of social media, because many of them have the traditional plans of cold calling, cold walking, networking, and referring back and forth, but not many of them have really taken advantage of social media. I recently wrote an article called Don't Get Left Out of LinkedIn. It was published in a national insurance magazine called American Agent and Broker. I talk about how they can use LinkedIn for pre-approach research to identify certain problems that their customers are having by going on to groups that their customers will be on, so they can go out there and be better prepared to separate themselves from their competition and really deliver more value to that insurance buyer than the typical insurance agent.
If you haven't read that article, I would advise anybody to read it. It's a great article, and it's right on the money, and Ed talked about it on the show. What kind of problems do you solve for people?
There are a multitude of problems. Say you've just hired a new insurance agent. Normally it takes anywhere from 18 months to 3 years to bring that agent up to profitability. So literally you're losing money until they can bring themselves up to profitability. I teach new agents how to view themselves as profit centers, understanding that they generate revenue, but they also generate expense. Even if they're on salary, I help them understand that you need to be thinking in a profit center mentality. But I take it a step further. Everybody that they insure, every business they insure, is also a profit center. So if they stop selling insurance and start trying to help their clients become more profitable by having proper insurance to avoid losses, to increase their revenues. You can sell certain types of insurance that will qualify certain companies to do work that they couldn't have done before, or decrease expenses. You're now not just an insurance agent, but you're truly a risk manager and a consultant to that company.
Beautiful. What's your SSN deal for everybody that wants to know, how can I make money with it?
My SSN deal is very straightforward. If you refer me to an insurance agency, an insurance company, or an insurance association, for that year, I will pay you 20% of what I earn. But I take it a step further. If I'm at an insurance association, there's somebody in the audience that I end up striking a deal with, even though you didn't refer me to that person, the fact is you got me in front of them, I'll pay 20% on that deal as well. So I strongly urge SSN members to find opportunities for me to speak before insurance associations, insurance companies, or insurance agencies.
Fantastic, Ed. Thank you so much for joining us
That was a
today.
pleasure, Myra. You bet.